Hey guys, welcome back to RBB. I'm here with Ryan, and we are here to talk about a very interesting build that he had done by Infinity Arms. Is that correct? Is it Infinity Arms?
Yes.
What's the name of the company?
So they're called actually Straightforward Inc., but they're most well known for Infinity.
Okay.
Infinity is kind of like their custom gun manufacturer. So, top of that, they were, one of the top 2011 manufacturers out there that money could essentially buy.
Yeah. So first thing I got to ask is, are you happy with it?
Oh, I am way happy with it. So out of every single firearm I've owned and shot and have had my hands on, I would say this one kind of cuts the cake for me. It's a special one. Other than that, yeah.
So let's go around the gun today and show me very specifically. You clearly had this built exactly to your specs. So start top to bottom. I see that you went with the aim point acro.
Yes. So essentially what I had was I had this wild idea in my mind. Nothing out there was really on the market that I wanted. Everything was kind of plain Jane, and for the money, I didn't really think it was worth it. There was a point in time where I was like, you know what, maybe a cheaper one would make more sense, or you could go full balls to wall crazy, which is kind of what I did. So yes, you're right, Aaron. I did choose the 8-point acro. Acro, only reason why I chose it was because it's enclosed. I also like the acro style. It's very reliable, robust. You can go with lighter optics such as RMR, SROs, whatever else is out there on the market.
Go with the combat mailbox.
Yeah, very much.
Okay, so I see that you have a pattern on the slide here. Talk to me about that and why you chose that or what it means to you.
Yeah, so on the slide itself and on the frame and a little bit on the barrel too, I have a pretty much cherry blossoms on there, which a lot of people are wondering why flowers. Well, to be honest with you, I just like cherry blossoms. They're one of my favorite flowers. So to me, it has meaning. To other people, they may be thinking, why would you put flowers? That's totally fine. It's custom. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
Nice. Other than that, we do live in the Pacific Northwest, and if you guys ever come up here or witness the cherry blossoms, it's kind of a homage to that, I guess.
Yeah. It really is. When you see a row of cherry blossom or cherry trees, it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, good on you. So talk to me about the fit and the cut of the barrel with the slide.
Yeah, so the fit and cut on the barrel, essentially we have a island barrel, which is normally used for, I guess, having a front sight post here and then rear sights. Essentially what that does is the front sight does not move with the slide. In this case, I don't have any irons on it, so it doesn't really matter. I do have porting on the top. Top of that, if you guys could see right here, it is kind of cut out for the island barrel itself. Slide and frame fit essentially is very nice. It's probably one of the tightest lockups I got, with also being very smooth. A lot of people complain about it being very tight up front, but that's just homage to Infinity's lockup and how they stack tolerances and stuff. So it feels kind of tight at first, but once you start running it, it feels super smooth. As far as kind of everyone cares about how flat guns shoot nowadays, I guess, how fast you shoot stuff. The way I could describe the recoil pattern is kind of as two opposing magnets kind of gliding over a surface. It feels better than glass. It doesn't really, like, how do you say, break, I guess? Right. It feels more like there's nothing happening, and it's just so smooth.
Absolutely. So I absolutely agree with everything you said. So going towards the muzzle end, we used to call those we used to call them a muzzle standoff, but what is this piece on the front end here? And gee, that's sharp.
Yeah, so this was kind of an idea that I saw from a older, I want to say STI gun. I wouldn't say it's from Infinity themselves, but they had a very old handgun in one of those newspapers. I forgot what it was. But anyways, kind of drew inspiration from that. Infinity does make a standoff device, but it has spikes on it. So I decided to have this kind of custom standoff device made by them. Other than that, this is a standoff device, so essentially whenever you do come into contact with either a person, hard object, whatever, it does not push the slide out of battery.
Correct.
It is very sharp. I have accidentally cut myself. I'm trying to clear malfunction. So
can I nerd out just a second on how, when you go to take this just simple field strip to take it apart, how does this standoff come off? Where is the detachment system for that?
Yeah, so essentially this right here is a machined piece of metal. It's not attached to a slide or anything like that, or the barrel. It is actually attached to the frame via a screw on the bottom. On the screw, essentially I take this off and then I could kind of wiggle it out, and then I could field strip it from there and do the rest of the stuff that I need to do.
So I see that the slide lock, you went with the same color accents, which is amazing and very eye-catching. Now, when it comes to this chosen grip, obviously it looks like it has a very good tactile feel to it. Was there anything more than that Before we get into this insignia, was there anything more than that on the grip that you were looking for as far as this kind of golf ball kind of cut to it?
Yeah, so essentially, whenever you build a custom gun with Infinity, right, they will send you out a box of grips to choose from. They have either really non-aggressive or aggressive, and they have different styles of grip angles, I would say, which is kind of something you don't really see from a lot of manufacturers. This is kind of their signature grip, which is a blend of CZ75 and 2011 characteristics. So it points very naturally. It feels very good in the hands. And I technically EDC this every single day, so I didn't really want something super, rough on my stomach or anything like that.
Right.
Other than that, this insignia, you can request it with or without it, so you don't need to have it. I just thought it was a cool thing to add. So this is their logo, Infinity logo, and it is actually wired EDM cut in there.
Crazy. Now I see that the grip safety, you chose to go with more of what people would call a pinned version of that. Talk me through your thought process.
All Infinity guns will come with a pinned back safety, I guess. So if you want it without it, I'm pretty sure you can request it with just regular safety.
So it's just a choice, really.
Yeah, it's really more of a choice, but every single grip safety from them I've seen so far has always been pinned. It's just kind of one of their standards that they do.
If I could just see that clearly, this patterning is the same here, although they did it in a little bit different format.
Yeah.
But you kind of wanted it to match there as well.
Yeah, so essentially what I totally forgot to tell them was, hey, I wanted this to match, but this is a little bit one of their aggressive textures that you would have on the grips, but for magwell, I don't really care, right? It's magwell. Right. To me, I just wanted this because it sets it off a little bit. It looks a little bit cooler. It pops out. It stands out.
That's awesome. So anything particular about the magwell itself? I mean, I've seen you do mag changes and it looks flawless, but I mean, the fit and finish there is clearly what someone would expect.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to spend this kind of money, right, for instance, if you get a regular Glock, not shitting on Glocks or anything like that, sometimes you'll notice kind of a lip, I guess, where mags can potentially get hung up on and stuff. Everything on the Infinity magwell is kind of blended with the grip itself, so everything is very smooth transitioning wise. You guys, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there are obviously wear marks, so I do use my gun. It's very smooth insertions, very smooth extraction of the mags, all that stuff. Yeah.
Walking around the gun, this is not by itself a particularly unusual version of a mag release button, but I see that you did have a little bit of custom work done in there.
Yeah, so essentially, right, you have extended magazine releases, you have regular magazine releases. Normally they just stick kind of outwards,
right?
But I'm a right-handed shooter, so for instance, right, if I was to put my hand on here, it does not hit the magazine release. So the fat part of your hand doesn't hit it and accidentally eject the magazine, so now you can get back on the gun.
Very nice. Talk to me a split second about the Surefire that you chose to drop on there as well.
Okay. So essentially, I have a Surefire XBL2 IRC, which is the civilian model of it. Shout out to David, my friend over at Surefire. He hooked me up with the military/law enforcement discount, so that was a huge saver. Most people probably don't need this, but it has a IR laser and IR illuminator, as well as vis laser and white light. Other things I could say that would stand out too is I do have checkering on this side, so you could either request it with checkering or without checkering on the frame itself. It's just a right-handed shooter, so it's always a good thumb point for me.
So rather than going with what people would call like a gas pedal, you're just looking for a little bit of friction there.
Yep, just a little bit of friction, and honestly, if you have a good grip and you do your part, the gun will do its job just fine.
Yes, it does. Yes,
and then on top of that too, on the slide serrations itself, you could actually customize what kind of slide serrations you want, or if it goes into frame. In this case, I did a little bit of a custom touch by putting a pattern called Sagaiha, or which is also known as the Japanese wave pattern on it. So if you guys get up very closely, you will notice that there's kind of this wave pattern on it, and it just really brings the whole entire build all together. The actual cool thing about this is you can also make your own serial numbers. In this case, I'm not telling you the last couple numbers, but it's a Wasabi special. So this is a homage to my design work, right? Every single gun that comes out of Infinity, except for the custom production models that they start to drop, every single one that you guys will see is going to be one of one. Either someone overseas or in the United States, whatever, is like, hey, I have this idea, I want to make it come true. Infinity will do that for you for a price, right? So
why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on Instagram as well.
Yeah, so if you guys want to track more of my stuff, you guys can find me on Instagram at TrapGodWasabi. Most people are probably going to be super amazed by staccatos and stuff. That's totally fine, but if you guys want to see what, hey, this is the Rolls Royce of 2011s or more, this is it. I mean, if you guys want to try it, make your own opinions. If you guys hate it, hey, that's your opinion. If you guys love it, that's also your opinion.
Ryan, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And we'll catch you guys right back here on ranges, backstops, and berms.
Take it easy, guys.